Your OAuth tokens keep vanishing when the server restarts, forcing users to re-authenticate every time. We'll configure persistent GitHub OAuth storage for FastMCP using disk-backed encryption, so credentials survive restarts while staying secure. You'll see exactly how to wire up the DiskStore backend and where to store the encrypted tokens.
From FastMCP, server, auth providers, GitHub import GitHub provider. From key value, AO stores, disk import DiskStore. Auth equals GitHub provider. Client ID equals your ID. Client secret equals your secret. Base URL equals https://yourserver.com. Client storage equals DiskStore. Directory equals /var/lib/fastmcp/OAuth.
This demonstrates the storage backend abstraction pattern, where persistent data handling is decoupled from core application logic. The concept uses a unified key-value interface to support multiple storage implementations, allowing you to switch between in-memory, disk, or distributed backends without changing business logic. What makes this distinctive is the complete separation between how data is stored and how it's used, enabling runtime flexibility. The pattern works by defining a consistent interface contract that all storage backends implement, while the application interacts only with this abstract interface. Configuration happens at initialization time through dependency injection, where you specify the concrete storage implementation. This design enables transparent swapping of storage solutions based on deployment needs, from development to production, without modifying the application's core behavior. This approach solves the problem of environment-specific storage requirements while maintaining clean architecture. It lets developers use simple in-memory storage during development, then seamlessly transition to persistent or distributed storage in production. The trade-off is a slight abstraction overhead, but the benefit is complete storage flexibility across different deployment scenarios, from single server to cloud-native architectures. Let's break it down line by line.
From FastMCP, server, auth providers, GitHub import GitHub provider.
Imports the GitHub OAuth provider from FastMCP's auth system. This handles GitHub authentication flows, managing token exchange and user validation for the server.
From key value, AO stores, disk import DiskStore.
This imports DiskStore, a persistent key-value storage backend for OAuth tokens. It handles token caching to disk, ensuring sessions persist across server restarts.
Auth equals GitHub provider.
This instantiates the GitHub OAuth provider, configuring authentication via GitHub's OAuth flow. It's the entry point for integrating GitHub login into your FastMCP server, handling token exchange and user verification.
Client ID equals your ID.
This is the OAuth client identifier required by GitHub's OAuth flow. It uniquely identifies your application to GitHub's authorization server, enabling the provider to request access tokens on behalf of your users. You obtain this value when registering your application in GitHub's developer settings.
Client secret equals your secret.
This is the OAuth client secret for GitHub authentication. It verifies your application's identity to GitHub's servers, preventing unauthorized access to user data. Never commit this value to version control. Use environment variables or secret management in production.
Base URL equals https://yourserver.com.
This sets the base URL for GitHub OAuth redirects. Required when running behind a proxy or custom domain, it ensures OAuth callbacks route correctly to your server instead of defaulting to localhost. Overrides GitHub's default redirect behavior for production deployments.
Client storage equals DiskStore. Directory equals /var/lib/FastMCP/OAuth.
This configures persistent OAuth token storage using DiskStore, storing GitHub credentials in /var/lib/FastMCP/OAuth. Prevents users from re-authenticating on every server restart by maintaining session state between restarts. Standard pattern for OAuth providers that need durable token storage. Closes the GitHub provider instantiation. This final parenthesis completes the OAuth configuration, locking in the client credentials, base URL, and storage backend for persistent session handling. OAuth proxy pattern. The GitHub provider demonstrates FastMCP's OAuth proxy in action, bridging static OAuth providers with MCP's dynamic client registration system. The client storage parameter persists OAuth state between redirects, and DiskStore is the simplest production-ready option.
The provider that refuses to register becomes the gateway for all registrations.